Hello, and welcome to our public comment session tonight for the Phase 1 portion of the Erie Streetscape project. My name is Christopher Millett. I'm the Communications Director for the City of Erie. With us today are several members of our team, and they include Leanne Parmenter, our traffic engineer, who's sitting in the second row. Jason Sayers, our engineering bureau chief, is right here. AJ Antelik, our Assistant Director of Public Works, is also here. And of course, our Mayor, Joe Schember, is with us. And our presenter today will be Rob Wernicke, our project engineer. All of them will be here for the public comment session. Rob will do most of the presentation. I'm going to turn over the podium to him in a minute. If you haven't already signed in, please do so. After this short presentation that Rob will make, it will only last a few minutes, but it'll have a lot of detail about the Phase 1 of the project. Please save your comments for the end of the presentation, at which time we encourage you to line up on my left-hand side, your right-hand side, and we'll ask you to come to the podium. We are streaming this live, so we need your comments on the microphone so our streaming audiences can hear you. We'll ask you to limit your comments to this project only, please, and we will respond when all comments are completed. And you'll have 3 minutes for your comments. I'll give you an alert at about 2.5 minutes. You'll hear my phone go off at 3 minutes. I'll also be monitoring our Facebook the post on the live stream on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel for any comments, and I will bring them to the podium after the public commenters are done. Reminder, if you don't want to speak publicly, we have survey forms here, and you can leave your comments for our team on those survey forms, and we'll be taking public comment through April 12th. If I didn't forget anything, Rob, I'm going to turn it over to Rob Wernicke, who's going to run this presentation for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So I am Rob Wernicke. I'm the project engineer for this project on State Street. And we are looking to do a State Street streetscape, as everyone knows, along 2nd to 12th. Right now, today, we are concentrating on South Park Road to 12th, as that is Phase 1, and that's what the public meeting here today is about. So a little bit about who's involved. We have multiple funding sources. We have the City of Erie, the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program, RACP, Erie County Gaming Revenue, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, and also Perry Square Alliance. So we do have some stakeholders that we've been working with throughout the process. We've had a few meetings, and we're working with them as well. So here's the location map. Like I mentioned, overall it's going to be 2nd to 12th, but and I kind of highlighted the area. So the facts and history, this project was developed with the master plan back in 2010, and then we actually had some, and back in 2010, I should state that we did do a streetscape from 12th to 14th. It was part of the Union Station area streetscape. So that area was complete back in 2010. And now with funding sources, we are looking to complete the project and finish it to 2nd. So this is our master plan. It is a public document that's been on our website. It is from 2010, like I mentioned, and it is kind of the overall plan. This plan does show from Peach to French and 2nd to 12th. So this plan does encompass the whole downtown area. We are going to be talking about State Street, which is a ceremonial street. Here is the overall concept. Again, this is a conceptual plan, and I just wanted to show you kind of the overall, but I kind of wanted to focus on the sidewalks. As you see, we have sidewalks, we have a concrete strip that I've been talking about, and we have some landscaping areas going along State. Here's kind of an overview, kind of a plan view, looking at this, and it's kind of showing a little bit of the materials. So we have different types of trees and benches and things to that nature that we will look to use. So, like I mentioned, this project is 3 phases, and the first phase is what we're concentrating on this year. The time frame is spring of 2023, so shortly here to the spring of 2024. It is going to be South Park Row to 12th, and we're going to concentrate on the curbs, the LED lighting, soil cells, and green space. And I will explain a little bit more about the soil cells, lighting, and curbs on the coming slides. And I should mention phase 2, I guess we'll go through it all here. Phase 2 is South Park Row to 12th again. That's looking to be next year. And we're going to follow up this project with sidewalks, lead walks. And when I say lead walks, I mean that is the walkway from the sidewalk to the street. Trees, landscaping, and benches, and also some actually green area, green spaces this year. So this phase, we're looking to do all of our areas where we're digging up is going to be replaced with green area. Phase 2, we're working to incorporate some landscaping and some lead walks. So we're still in design with that, and that is one thing on the comment sheet that I asked, what people would like to see. So we are working on the design on that. Phase 3 would be North Park Row to 2nd, so that's finishing State Street up. And that would be all one project. So that would have curbs, LED lighting, sidewalks, lead walks, trees, green space, landscaping, and benches. That would be everything. So a little more history. Perry Square was revamped in 2015. So the master plan, like we mentioned, was back in 2010. In 2015, we concentrated on the Perry Square, and we added a stage there, fountain. We used brick pavers, and we did some landscaping around there. So from this, we are kind of incorporating and going south and then north. Ongoing, we have some Perry Square electrical upgrades. We bid this project last year, and we're finishing it up spring here. So what we did is we expanded some electrical service into Perry Square, like I mentioned. The west side has additional electrical connections for events, and the east side we have 4 food truck panels for events. So we're looking forward to utilizing that this year. So like I mentioned in later slides here, I have some more details on the concrete curb. So this is a picture on the right is of State Street from 12th to 14th. As you can see, there is a new concrete curb, and then that little 12-inch, so 1-foot concrete step strip. And then we have the brick pavers up there with some trees. Like I mentioned, for phase 1 here, we will not have the brick pavers or concrete or anything. We are looking to put that back with grass because we're still in design, and phase 2 will finish up the whole project and include some of those lead walks. LED street lighting and pedestrian lighting, that is a huge one for this phase. We are going to update a lot of our electrical conduit and electrical wiring. We're going to put brand new LED street lighting and pedestrian lighting from South Park Row to 12th, and all the existing lights that are from South Park Row to 10th now will be reused. We're just going to bring in the spacing a little bit, and we're going to add pedestrian lights off of the street light poles. We are going to remove all the existing pedestrian lights. There's probably 8 to 10 per block, and we're going to replace them with the upgraded LED lights on the street light poles. So soil cells I mentioned earlier. Soil cells are an interlocking, the cell itself is an interlocking recycled material. The main purpose of these are treating and removing contaminants. So we're going to put additional catch basins along State that will pull the water, and it will go into the catch basin. It will go into a perforated pipe, and it will dissipate through the cell itself. This will help with reducing the tree growth, and it will give a lot of room for the roots. So here's a typical soil cell tree pit. As you can see, they're the recycled 20 inches by 20 inches, so 2 by 2, I guess, cube, and it's about 2 foot deep. So we'll have an under drain in there, and then we'll have the 4-inch perforated pipe that will take all the water off of state and filtrate it through the soil cell. So here's a typical construction picture. It's in a different city, but as you see, there are 3 rows in this picture. We plan to do 2 continuous rows from South Park Road to 12th. And we anticipate to treat over 25,000 gallons of stormwater, so in each 0.45 rain event. So if you look at this picture, you can kind of see the curb to the right. We'll have 2 rows. We'll have the step strip on top of that, and then the nice thing is we'll be able to plant the trees, new trees in the phase 2 along that area, and it will help with the tree growth, and it will help keep the sidewalk down and not have the roots lift it. So my next few slides are just the areas, kind of what I have up here. I have 11th to 12th Street, and that is all the way far to the left. And these drawings are kind of showing the pink area is the step strip, is the 1 foot concrete strip and the curb. The green area is the area that we're going to be limiting or be disturbing for construction. And like I mentioned, we do plan to put it back with green for the time being. And if you also look at this a little bit deeper on these drawings, you'll see where the street lights and the new pedestrian lights were going to be going. And again, this is 11th to 12th. I have 10th to 11th, and I go all the way down to South Park Row. I do have these up here for everyone to look at after the meeting. But also you'll see the green squares. Again, I understand it's hard to see. Those are the new catch basins that we're looking to put in that will capture the rainwater. So here's 9th to 10th, 8th to 9th, 7th to 8th, and then here's South Park Road to 7th. So that's all I had. That was the gist of it. I guess we'll leave it now for public comment.
Thank you, Rob. Any public comment? Love to hear your thoughts on the project. Step up and we'll add them to the mix. Evening, Ms. Teffer. Please keep your comments to the project.
My name is Freda Tepfer, and I am a retired orientation and mobility specialist, native plant gardener. So I'd like to see that the trees that are planted are native species. I would encourage the project to emphasize non-grass in the strips. You can plant Pennsylvania sedge. You can plant all kinds of other species. You don't have to plant grass. I also suggest that if you're going to be upgrading the electric system, it's a great opportunity now. It's essential to have accessible pedestrian signals the entire length of the project. And I would like to know how you're going to ensure adequate pedestrian access downtown on both sides of the street uninterrupted during the project. How are you going to provide detectable notification of any closures, and where you will provide alternative sidewalk bypass like the Erie Downtown Development Corporation has done in their projects. And I do like the down lighting on the LED. That's the best way to provide bird-safe lighting with LED lighting. Thank you.
Jeff Kidder. Do you need address or not? Live at 502 Seminole Drive. I have a long history with State Street, going back to removal of Transway Mall with Downtown Now and Laura Eaton, and it was involved in Perry Square over the many phases. But I do own a building at 4th and State, so it's out of this particular phase. But seeing what was done 12th to 14th, I agree with the previous commenter about no grass. I understand plant material, but grass just seems a little weird on State Street, and a mower and a little strip, and you see how well it's maybe not holding up with the parking and the building, and it gets muddy, and I just think there's other options for that. Question, all the trees are going to be removed, current trees along State Street? Is that correct?
I can answer. We'll address it.
Okay. The one thing was said about the crosswalks and accessibility. I don't know if it's required, but I cross at Bayfront and Frontier, and it talks. And just remember that there are apartments downtown. My building has apartments right on the corner of 4th and State. People are living there, bedrooms, living rooms, and just the sound, if it's 24-hour, 24/7, and those crosswalks are talking out loud, that to remember that there are other places where people are living within 20 feet. And it's just something that you got to find a balance to accommodate everybody. But I wouldn't want my bedroom outside a window that has a crosswalk talking all the time. So I don't know how, nice days you want your windows open. So just something you got to keep in mind. They got to kind of address everybody's needs, not just single it out for a certain, population. But otherwise, it's good. Just durability. We all see you want materials that will last, and the plant, my only concern is just maintaining it. Plant work, it requires a lot of maintenance, and who's going to do that?
Laura Eaton, and I'm at 1540 West 6th Street. I have the flower shop next to the Warner Theater, and we've gone through many renovations in downtown Erie, the 39 years that we've been downtown. The Transway Mall, they told us we'd be tore up for maybe a month to 2 months. It was almost a 2-year project, and our streets were closed off for the merchants and the people who live down here. So I'm just wondering, how long, like if you tear out stuff in our block, is there a time frame for how long we'll be tore up? I just lived through the Warner Theater project, and we were closed down for 1.5 years because of that, and we're happy to be good neighbors. We would never say no to a project, but we just need to kind of know time frame so that we know what's going on. We get a lot of people that come downtown from other parts of the city, and they need to know what's going on. So we don't want to lose our customers, the ones we do have. So any information, we'd love it. And it's a good project, and I do have concerns about grass also. I could see me out there with a lawnmower.
Last call. I didn't see anything on Facebook. I'll check one more time. Rob?
So to answer some of the comments here, the no grass, I guess I understand everyone's concerned with that. We will look into other alternatives. The thought process behind that was not putting concrete down there right now and then tearing it up later and wasting money. So we'll sort through some stuff, and maybe there are some other species that we can work through. The trees removed, to your question, right now I've walked the walk state a few times with Sarah, our arborist, and there are multiple trees that are bringing up the sidewalk and creating tripping hazards. There are some ash trees there, so we are working with her to see which ones exactly to take down and to determine if it is a good idea to take them all down and to plant new trees in the soil cell, because the soil cells will go continuous, and if we're installing this, we want the trees to be healthy and in the future not rip up the sidewalk. So we are working through that with Sarah, and I don't have an answer for it, but it is a concern. And the how long tore up, we do plan on working on this block by block. So in our bid specs, we will have the contractor. We won't let them just start at South Park Road one day and then come up to 11th Street the next day. We are going to specify, we want block by block done. Again, I'm sure during construction, there's always little things, maybe it'll be a block or two tore up, but we won't be going crazy. So we do plan to limit that. I think I answered all the questions.
Okay. Short and sweet is fine. Our team will be here for, any follow-up or to meet with the media. And, we'll be around for a while. And this is just the first part of the dialogue on this project. This is the first part of the dialogue on the project. It's going to last for a while. We just want to continue to be transparent and, forthcoming about the project and what's ahead. So thanks for coming out tonight. I know the weather was not conducive to this meeting, but we're glad you're here, and we're always listening. Thank you very much.